How did I get here? And that question could mean a lot of things. How did I get on YouTube? Why am I at this college? Why do I have a ring light currently right here that doesn't belong to me? How can I talk and be loud and annoying? And how did I get here? I keep talking to people and probably saying this way too often, and a lot of them, they just met me within the past 3 months, something like that. And I say, you know what's crazy is that I talk your ear off. I talk my roommates' ears off when they're here. Like, I'll talk to them till 3 a.m. sometimes, and they're like, it's bedtime. And my question is, how did I get here? I think it's kind of hard to envision now if you didn't know me back then, but I didn't talk. Like, you could put me in a room with my best friend, and I wouldn't talk. Ask me to raise my hand in class. No. Ask me to say anything to anyone. If I did talk, I wonder if I can get the volume down. I was just wondering do you like Doctor Who? I like Doctor Who. I just started listening to this new band, My Chemical Romance, and they're pretty cool. That's about how I was. Like, I didn't talk very loud. I was terrible at making eye contact. I didn't talk to people. I talked to, like, a group of people. Like, actually, at lunch, I had a table that I sat with every day of 6 or 7 people. I talked to 2 of them. That was it. Like, that was straight up it. I talked to people for assignments if I had to. I talked to people at church if they talked to me. I talked to my students because I have worked with kids since 6th grade. So I talked to them. And really, for a long time, kids were the only ones I felt comfortable to talk to. And I'm not really sure why that is. I think maybe because they don't judge me. Which has come full circle now because I've been told by my current students that they feel like they can be themselves because I don't judge them, which is cool to see. Everything currently in my life right now, October 23rd, 2020, everything here exists for me in my life right now because of one moment that triggered a bunch of moments, but it was literally like this one time. Which is going into school, into high school in 9th grade and telling my guidance counselor, I want to take upperclassmen classes. And she was like, you can't do that, you're a freshman. And I was like, okay, but I want to. And she's like, I'm sorry, you can't. And she showed me the list of classes I could take. And I was like, I don't want to take intro to drawing and design. She's like, why not? And I'm like, I already know how to draw. Which is so awful to think back on now, like, that I straight up said that to a guidance counselor. I already know how to draw. I don't need a class in it. I'm elite. So she was like, okay, well, what about this option? No. This option? No. This option? No. Like, everything she gave me, I shot down. I was like, no. I wasn't very nice. I was a mean kid. But nobody knew I was a mean kid because I didn't talk. Anyway, so eventually she goes, all right, listen, there's only one option left, and that's intro to theater. I was like, are you kidding me? Intro to theater? No. And she's like, girl, you can't say no to everything I give you. And I was like, fine, I will take intro to theater, but I'm not going to be happy about it. And as soon as I'm able, I'm going to take those upperclassmen classes I want. She's like, fine, take the upperclassmen classes when you're an upperclassman. I literally don't care. Just, you can't right now because you're a freshman. So I went to class. I didn't want to go there. I didn't want to be in theater. Theater, barf, am I right? Public speaking, who? And then all of a sudden, it was like everything. Especially from sophomore year on, I cannot separate myself from theater. I could easily separate myself from tennis. I did tennis for 3 years. I did tennis before I ever did theater. I could easily separate my story from tennis. But I could never separate my story from theater at this point. It is such an integral part of me. It is the reason that I have become who I am. I can't separate myself from theater. It's just not gonna happen. I still didn't talk. I was very quiet in theater, and I remember my teacher always was saying, gotta be louder, gotta be louder, gotta be louder. And my friends, I was so embarrassed, like embarrassed to look back on it, and I know I was embarrassed in the moment. I had this friend who, it's a whole nother story. He was pretty great though. And he would always be like, he was super understanding and always wanted to like hear what I actually had to say. And I'd be like, and he'd be like, huh? I'd be like, no. I'm sorry, what? I'd be like, ah! Like, he could never understand what I was saying. But the poor guy still tried, which if you're watching my video right now, guy who I'm referring to, first off, I'm surprised you didn't leave. Second off, thank you for putting up with me for so long. Wish you could see me now. I'm not as weird as I was. Anyway, moving on. Why am I here? Why am I at this college? Because last college dropped the theater program, so I left. Now I'm here. And I'm about to probably drop out, but that's a story for another day. Going into my senior year, I had an experience at camp that was unbelievable. It was unbelievable. And the previous year, 2 years previous actually, there was a guy in theater who was graduating, and he was very kind to me. And when he graduated, I realized a lot of people wouldn't have the experience with him that I did. Like, a lot of people their lives wouldn't be touched the way that he touched my life. They wouldn't have someone who would pour into them and give them patience and kindness, even if they were weird and quiet, or even if they were X or Y or whatever. Weird and quiet's just what it was for me. And so, going into my junior year, I said, I need to be that for people. And I was still weird and quiet, so I couldn't. And then after that experience, going into senior year high school, the experience I just mentioned, I finally opened the ability to be like that guy was for me. And I literally was sitting there like a week before school, and I was like, I'm a different person right now. And I went from junior year talking to maybe 5 people in the play. Like, out of the entire play, I think I talked to 5 people. Then my senior year, it was my goal to introduce myself to everyone. And I made a lot of friendships that way that I highly value. To this day, I still highly value. It was 3 years ago. I highly value every one of those people. And I don't know why I'm telling this story. It's my story, so I want to get it out there because my best friend said I should. But I also wanted to say, if you're living a life that you don't feel like you're yourself, I believe someday you will find yourself. And maybe this is a bit talking to myself too, because currently where I'm living, how I'm living right now, I don't feel like I know myself. But I know that I can find myself. And I believe you can too. I believe we all can. I think when we do, it's going to be really beautiful. And you don't have to have a story of growth like I did, because everyone has their own story. And for me, I'm an extrovert who lived as an introvert for most of my life. If you're an introvert, your story of growing in yourself and becoming who you truly are, if you're an introvert, it's probably not going to be becoming an extrovert, because it's okay to be an introvert, because some people are. I just wholly believe that we will someday find ourselves, and it will be beautiful. The other day, my friend said, I don't know how we're gonna figure this out. And I said, I don't know either yet, but we will. It's 2020 and it sucks. But you know what? Yesterday had pieces that were better than today. But tomorrow looks pretty good. Maybe it doesn't if you look at it on paper, but if you look at it from your heart, I think it does. Maybe I'm wrong. But I have hope in our future. I have hope in the tenacity of human beings. I have hope in humans, in life, in love, and hope. I have hope and hope. I am who I am because of theater. And because of a whole bunch of other things. But today, this video is about theater. I hope you find your niche. I hope you find the thing that makes you happy and makes you feel like yourself. And I believe you will. Whoever you are, I believe you'll find yourself someday. And when you do, I would love to meet you. I would love to meet that true self that you have found. Because I think that when we find our truest selves, that is the deepest part of ourselves, and that is the essence of love. Maybe that's what I'll do my video on next time, is how being yourself is the essence of love. Because that is something I actually genuinely believe. I'm not just saying it. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, gotta be a proper YouTuber. If you like this video, smash that like button and smash that subscribe. Look at my moss garden. Isn't she pretty? She's a pretty girl. I love my moss garden. Have a wonderful day.